Hey everyone, we're back again. That's Glenn from Glenn's Garage. Let's give you a quick walkthrough of what we've got going on in case you haven't seen any of the other previous videos. We're in the process of doing a timing belt replacement. We're also replacing the upper cams seals. We're also going to do the crank seal and where we're at on that project to show you what's going on. Radiator hoses, that's all part of this particular work. Cam locking tool, just wanted to point something out to everyone who does it. There's not a left side and a right side. However, on one of these cam locking tools, and it tips, whatever one it is a pass-through. The bolt passes through, and then on the other arm is threaded. Make sure to have the threaded side down, otherwise when you go to twist cams to get these center caps and the VVT hub stud, they're torqued, and this needs to be in this configuration: threads down, pass through, and don't ask me how I know. All right. So new water pumps going in. We've already shown or basically the removal of that. Just wanted to show you in this process, make sure we can get everything. I mean, it's kind of an ongoing thing with me because I don't have it in a garage. So we're basically going to pull this up, and we just go through this routinely. Power steering, it's already been loosened. I'd like to try to get mine all the way back stuck there. Putting a little torque on the hoses. Reservoir is up and out, and I'll show you now where we're at. I'm gonna take this is the connector to the reservoir, so that one's fine. This is obviously our inlet tube to the reservoir. I'm just going to move that across over to here because we're going to be taking these two cams off. And oops, one of the problems I had earlier was, when I originally looked at this, was that, let's see if I can get this stuck back there. All right, was that the space between this hub and this plastic, if you happen to have this plastic protector in your vehicle, obviously 2006 P2 T5 engine white block setup, if you have this, here's what you need to do. And you don't have to monkey around with any other wobble sockets or anything like that. It's a straight shot. So let's see if we can get you a good picture. I'm trying to keep my fingers clean still. Okay, first thing, had to take off this side mount. That side's loose because it had to come off anyway, but this side mount had to come off in order to get everything dealt with there. Now we're just going to be using the hands, but to get the ratchet, everything. So this had to come up, got that out of the way. You don't have to, mine's loose. Just part of the process because it all needed to come loose or come off. So I'm just more comfortable with leaving as much as I can on the car, and then just going back through and double checking all bolts in any event. So as I was saying, on this electrical cover, plastic, kind of not flexible cover, back here, let's see if we can, I should be able to show it. Where is it? Let me see. It's right. Oh, that might have been in the way. Where are they? There are two. Oh, there they are, right there. There are two basically pressure fit. What are they? It looks like a small screw that was welded into the original body work in order for this to mount, so it'll mount. And then the plastic isn't capped. You don't need a pick tool or anything. There's one down here on the lower side too. Where did I feel it? Well, I can see it when I get it. I don't need to take this out right now, but when you get to this point and you're like, oh, I got to figure out how to undo this, because these hubs, okay, there's caps, two caps, 35 Newton meters. It's in the 20s, maybe 28 foot-pounds, but Newton meters works for me. The bolts that are in the center to mount the hubs to the cam shaft, 120 Newton meters. So the thing that I needed to do, okay, the caps came out, I was able to use ratchet, and it is a T55 Torx bit. So that is something you want to make sure that's in your toolkit. All right, breaker bar, or since these are going to have to be torqued down, this is the beast I used. It basically, I'll show you real quick. Quite simple, actually. T55 Torx bit goes on the end. Oh, here's the thing for the front. In order to do the front bolt, you either, this is a 1/2 inch drive, you either have to get yourself a 1/2 inch drive T55, which I didn't, or you need to step it down to what I had, which was the T55 in 3/8, and so I had an extra step-in socket. So if you need this distance at all, this cover comes off, 2 clips, the top comes right off. Set it aside. This is your ECU and your TCU. You don't want to mess with those, but there is a box with very simple clips down here. Just push, the plastic rocks off. There is one right here. Let's get it to you. You'll see it. There it is. Kind of hard to see there, but there it is. Okay, those two. I think I did it with my finger last time. Good pinky. It's just a little, it's an easy snap, no pressure, okay? This comes up, just be aware that you need to kind of work up, and then clear. There's the windshield wiper tube and the connections for headlights and wiring connections and stuff like that. So this comes up, bring it up as far as you can, and then once it's up, then you just have to start wiggling. The first problem you have to encounter is you have to come over this little shelf of the water bottle. So it's just a wiggle, pressure in on the thumb, a wiggle out towards the engine, gets me over that next hump, and here I am out, okay? Then the next thing, just go ahead and watch out. ECUs will stay, just do a twist, a wiggle, and it's out just like that, all right? So hang that there, it'll stay. If not, we'll hang it on there. All right, so the only reason we have this because I needed the extension, okay? So the T55 bit, and then the big bad boy, which is going to retorque everything down. Again, showed you the clips here. Again, this just walks out, so I grabbed it right around where the clip was and just kind of started working. Okay, and of course I had both hands at the time, but again, okay, don't have to worry about the AC. Just gotta get, and like I said, there's one on the underside too. It's giving me a problem right now. But once I get that off, just like that, okay, this comes with us. Then in order to get to this back hub, okay, the crossbars out of the way. This cable box is long enough to be able to fit all the way up. I'm blocked right now by this mount, okay, but this is loose enough without, there's just enough wire in it to be able to rotate it and then bring it up over the top of that. That will actually hold it. Then, as you can see with that space from underneath, okay, I've got depth Okay, I've got clearance to be able to get in through there. So the breaker, the T55, okay, and then there again the center bolts. So it's important that you double check that you have that threaded bottom on there, because once these hubs, okay, and they're free to spin now because I don't have the cap in them, but once these hubs are engaged by the center bolt, okay, these VVT hubs will rotate a certain amount of distance, maybe 2, 3. We'll check it out when we get there. Since this is the first timing belt, this is the second timing belt on the vehicle, if you were curious, and we're at 225,000 miles as well. So we kept time down at the crank, and it's like with everything out of the way, you can actually now see this. Okay, so this is the timing mark that is on the hub that sits next to the timing belt teeth, if you will. And this, looking down at it, when we go down and look, is literally, it follows the tooth. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, so we'll show you from down below, but if this continued, you wouldn't see it. This ridge right here on the crank, okay? You follow it through. Again, the easiest way to do this, and the thing that I count on, is the gap between that timing mark and the timing mark that's on the block, that is that little pin down there. Whoops, switch cameras. Okay, but looking down on it is a lot different than looking at it directly through the wheel well. Okay, so anyway, crank has stayed. We're going to be going to a crank still as well, but where we're at right now is we're going to get started with removing the cam gears and hopefully doing the install of those. Okay. So my next thing was to see where I could set up the camera with the tripod. I'm trying a couple of different things here, but I think ultimately and I'm going to reassemble this. So, where is it? Put this back in real quick. Putting it back in, I'll show you. For the install of it, go down. See this little pedestal on it? Otherwise, it's just a square box. Okay, pedestal, and it has, go down in the path of least resistance, which is right down the middle here, right down the middle, until you get it down past things. Now, at this point in time, it's got to slide over to get over get lined up, because there's grooves. All right, sorry about that too. All right, so let's get this in. It comes over. We try to keep it down as far as possible in order to get wiper washer fluid. Then once we're in, we can, oops, let's go down. And what are we on? I dropped a, let's get them started again. Frustrating holding the camera and trying to show how it goes in. And I'm probably, since I'm actually looking at the piece that I'm putting in, I'm probably not even paying attention to what that looks like on camera. see if I can do a better job of that. So I've gone down through the middle. Now I need to bypass the fin. Sorry. And if you can, run the flange of the cover down. Again, it requires a reroute of that dummy hose. And from here, we're basically just going to work it on. Once you have, you'll see these two slots will get lined up with the back edge still being elevated. Then I'm going to basically, now I've got to clear this again. So I'm going to make sure we're lined up on the fins of our things, and then using the best I can with one hand, work that down. Okay, so it's gone in here. Those two fins are in the slots there. These two fins are in the slots there, and you can tell because there is, can lift it up. Oh, these are actually out. So go ahead and stretch the box and put those fins in. Then it slots right back down. Boom. Go ahead and make sure you clip these two guys. Just wiggle until you hear a click. There's one click. There's the other click. You can check by snugging them up. But groove, 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 groove. Okay. And then that's the cooling hose. I believe it's the fan. No, it's all the electrical connection. Sorry. Although I could see how they could use a cooling fan. Hitch side there, all good. This is just a slip in, and then the two clips. Okay. All right. Let's get set up to just do these cam. Seals. So find a nice level spot for the old tripod. And again, sorry, I wish I would have set this up, but then again, I'm setting it up right over basically the box we were just using. So let's see if we can get this wrangled in here somehow. There we go. We'll just cut it back like that. And we just need to get like a layback. Let's see if we can snug this down a bit more. Squeeze those dudes on there. Let's go. Yeah, that works, right? Alright, let's try to get it locked in. There, I like that plenty. All right, so showed you how to get the box out, showed you how to remove the plastic, kind of, what do you call it, rectangle, square hard plastic rectangle wire cover coming out of obviously ECU, TCU, showed you how to get the crossbar off, and showed you the tool we used it with. So at this point in time, the only thing I need is my T55. And as you can see, since I had to go with T55 3/8 drive, and the torque wrench is a 1/2-inch drive, they do make these, and I'll probably wind up getting one $5 or so, maybe 7 or 8. I just kind of wait till they're like, is what I can afford. But we're going to use these. That went in. Okay, as you can tell, the box here was just in the way from a leverage standpoint, so we went ahead and did that. Another thing is, when you take the caps off, have a rag standing by, because oil. These are oil pressure. There's the solenoids control oil pressure, and they are, well, just filled with oil. the cavities between the cap and whatnot are filled with oil. So I'm gonna grab the gear and we're just gonna carefully figure out how to get it in the center. These were a pretty tight tolerance, I remember, so get in the center. There. All right. So this, hopefully, pulling out the bolt won't cause the oil leak. But just never know. I'm gonna clean up the engine, spray it down, I'm sure. This was some carb clean, brake clean. All right, so this seems to be out now. All right. No. There it is. So if you have a magnet, which I do not, I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Use the finger, or worst case scenario, just a small little pick. Let's see if we can pick it out of there. Magnet's looking like the winner. There's no real edge on it. Probably use a suction cup, but it's all oily. Try to use the leverage of that T55 bit. I was trying that. I just wasn't. It's gonna be my solution today. All right, here. Oh. Oh. Trying to create, there it is, some pressure down when it got to the right point, and there's our bolt. Okay, to drop that. And we'll give it a clean. It's been coated in oil for 225,000 miles, so it's pretty well good. I mean, I haven't checked. Obviously, the longevity thing would be to replace this bolt because it is torqued to 120 Newton meters. But you know, inspecting the head, inspecting the threads, taking a look at it overall, I mean, it's just in good shape. So since it's not a stress bolt, although I would argue at 120 Newton meters it is a stress bolt, and it's actually spinning at 5, 6, 7,000 RPM at times, 2, 3,000 cruising. But yeah, pretty significant wear item. But hopefully strength and harden. I'll look into it. Obviously, I'm trying to get this done in the next couple of videos, just because I need to get the oops, hold on. I need to get the smog done on it, and in order to get the smog done here in California, they basically do the electronic scan through your ODB2 reader, which is in the cockpit. But the one thing that this car when it's not driven very often, it hasn't been driven in quite a while, is that because of this timing belt issue, need to run the car at like high boost pressures in order to get the exhaust like cooking hot, like if you were on a racetrack, in order to activate the converter, just to heat up the components to the point where the converter, catalytic converter, basically is hot enough, and it pulls, basically it clears, gives you an emissions clearance for the guys at the emission shops. So state of California really hammers down on this, older cars especially. I think this one's, I mean, out. I can see it so much that, but it keeps as far as its threads go. There. All right, so I'm not going to leave this on. I'll take this guy off. Be cool with that. Now, to be safe, I am going to double check, since this is the first time I've seen these bolts up close and personal, the links. So I have the intake cam on the intake side, and this is the exhaust cam bolt. Did I jostle the picture at all? No, we're good. Probably move it over some, but bolts out. Yeah, just a little slight lift on the plastic cover. Bolt comes out. Again, without an X-ray machine, check this bolt for like strength thresholds. But of course, in order to do that, you gotta strain the bolt anyway, so. But since it's not part of anything that anyone's ever really done, unless they were rebuilding a motor from scratches, then, you know, so these bolts would only been touched twice, which this should have been the, well, originally for assembly, then the one timing belt at 100 and plus thousand, and now we're at 225. So these would only been installed once and pulled once since now that I've gotten to them. So all in all, everything feels fine. Checking exhaust and intake. I'm not seeing any noticeable difference either way, but just for giggles, we'll put some tape and label them for exhaust and for for intake and exhaust. By now I probably could have switched hands. In any event, at this point in time, the cam hub should be able to be, and gear should be able to be slid right off. A wiggle and a twist. And right like that. All right. Something I have to look into is, here's the inner, okay, and then the outer. Now, in the center here is like a bearing almost, and it has like just a millimeter or so of play in it right now. But my understanding is that that might be the indication of them going bad. So I'm gonna have to make a call after we do this guy, and we'll see what we need to do. Clean this up. There's some corrosion around the back side, around that perimeter after the center wheel. So out here, oops, out here against this surface. Okay. So might just look at a refresher there, but that setup inside, I believe, is controlled by oil pressure. So I believe that is a good deal. As a matter of fact, I think in order to check whether or not the VVT hub is starting to wear out, is to actually try to pull it and push it in and out, wiggle it when the bolt is still tight. So we can always check that. Right now we're just going to pull the seal. There is obviously oil in the camshaft. Probably just, and it would be nice to be able to have some sort of just beautiful like cleaner agent that you could spray on here without doing any damage or anything. I mean, yeah, brake clean. You know, the seal's on, so it would just be so much of a nicer install to be able to just. So I'll do what I can. I have some fiber brushes that I should probably put into deployment here. Okay, but I think for the most part right now, as far as the outer ring goes, I think we're looking pretty good all the way down to that plastic cover. And I mean, I would debate pulling that plastic cover and cleaning behind it too, but I'm just at a point now where I want to get these guys over and done with and get this car back to running on all 5 beautiful cylinders. It's not electrically equipped, but let's go here. There we go. Sorry about that. The wider shot gives the thing. All right. So, new Male, available FCP Euro. This one happens to have come from IPD. Oh, part numbers, all that good stuff. If you haven't already ordered the stuff, my suggestion would be to order it first. I've had this stuff on the shelf for a while. Okay, there's an inner. I'll show you in the plastic. There's an outer edge and then the inner edge. And the inner part that goes in towards the cylinder has a groove in it, and then on the inside of here is a spring. You'll be able to see it. It's sprung right around there, and then this kind of harder plastic. That's obviously the insert. So what we've got is, in order to be able to pick this out, I can go right off the edge here, but not be inside you know, of this thing. So right after I can find the soft spot right in the middle, I'm just going to start inserting the pick, and we'll see how many pick efforts. Matter of fact, there's actually holes here. That might be more difficult then. There is a suggested video that in order to get these out, you can take a small screw and drive it in, but I'm like, if I can't get it picked out, then we got a problem. Obviously, I don't want to try to get it from inside the journal. Possibly might be able to get this part of it out. That's where the spring is. I'll try it a couple different points. Like we might need to come up with a new plan for getting these buggers out. So going in right on the inside edge here, is getting me into the soft spot. And again, my primary concern here is don't damage the surfaces. Okay, so if I'm going in here, I'm just going in behind that. I can go, if I'm all the way at I go in thickness. I go in close to the edge here. And the outer seal. I'm running along that thing. The only thing is the spring. So yeah, by going in here, like right behind this hard piece, there's a soft spot. And then that actually has, as long as you're pulling out towards it, basically has the plastic. So you're pushing into this hard plastic ring here, but a seal removal tool would probably be a good option as well. I don't know if picking my way around the seal is going to be a good way to do it. If I get a sturdier tool, I'm not hurting anything there. I'm just going into the back. I think with all the oil that runs through this thing, that it would come out. Let's see if that'll look like it was moving a little bit. Trying it down here on the bottom. I'll just keep going. So it seems like everything, wherever we're at on this, gives me like the expected, get it out, take out 5, 10, 15 minutes. Is literally not panned out. And every little thing, like getting the seal out, is just doesn't seem to be in the cards. Make sure I'm not. I mean, the depth of that screw, I just don't like the idea of putting a small screw through it and then pulling it out. If that can be done, then, I mean, this can work. Because, again, I'm behind the heart. I'm just pulling. Now, pulling instead of prying. It looks like I could be making headway down here, but I don't think so. I mean, that's where all the oil sits. I'm getting to the point where it's... Come on, seal. Oh, we definitely got some movement over here. Definitely. All right. Let's see if we can get here. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Oh, man. That's going to bleed. All right. Just about had it with hacking this up. It is out. I'm thinking a larger version of this tool is going to be needed. So with that, we're going to wrap this video up, and I'm now going to get the work done to be able to get that seal out. Then we'll be able to demonstrate on the back seal. And then, like I said, I still need to clean up the water pump mating surfaces. So I have to do that. No reason to put that on camera. Just a little contact cleaner and a single edge razor blade, if you can find them anymore. Just to scrape the surface, or you can use obviously a gasket scraper. You're gonna need a small one though, but whatever works, and we'll figure out how to get that guy out next. Put everything back together so we can close the hood on this deal. Leave our parts around. Put our hub back on. That won't hurt anything. Keep our pick tool. All right. Again, totally rotatable. We know that my timing marks when we lock this thing back down are gonna be at top center. So we'll just go ahead and carefully mesh this guy back on, just like that, just to sit tight for a few, and call it a moment in time. All right, I'm gonna put everything back together, close the hood, and we'll catch you on the next video. Hey, one thing. I'm at 36 subscriber, big deal, no big deal. YouTube let me know I can do live videos with 14 more subscribers. So hit the subscribe button, even just to help me out and get to, so I can do some short live stuff, because there's other stuff going on down here in San Diego, obviously, that, you know, deserve merit, especially when you can kind of cruise around in a convertible or a sedan in the winter, or even the unveiled secret Volvo car. Better get a picture of it before I can't afford it anymore. But in any event, yeah, hit the subscribe button, like, share it out to a friend. See if I can get 14 more subscribers. We can do this stuff live, and we can do you know, other goodies as well. But definitely have this to do on the C70 as well, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.